Arr, shiver me timbers, who dares to meet me at the very end of this entire boardwalk? Whoever they're able to actually claim the biggest treasure out of them all, which contains the the Power Star. I have no idea why I'm doing a pirate expression, weirdly enough, but hey, what's up ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only Maxi here, and I am back for yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos, once again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Mario Party 8 for the Nintendo Wii. So remember, the forms of in the last weekend is the fact that we already did Master Explore the very first board in terms of Mario Party 8, and that's what appears to be DK's Treetop Temple. And I found that board alright, despite the fact that that was the only board in the entire game that were able to actually feature the classic style of Mario Party, you know, with the actual individual stars, movements and stuff like that, which that would be the only emphasis on that time. But for this particular weekend, for today and tomorrow, we're going to be hit on to the forms of the second board in Mario Party 8. And that's what appears to be by the forms of Goomba's Booty Boardwalk. And this particular board takes place in a tropical beach setting, so because of that though, yeah, you might able to actually see those familiar Mario characters here and there, such as, for instance, we've already spotted those two familiar Piantas from the likes of Super Mario Sunshine. So anyways though, this entire board itself is basically once again a linear board, very similar to the forms of how it does it for those who haven't played Mario Party 7 before, you know, in the forms of Begonia Peak. Well, it's kind of like that, except the fact that everything else is a bit flatter than the forms of how it does it when you're trying to scale up the peak. So in this case though, let's talk about the happening spaces. There's one over there that usually that Pianta over there is actually busy doing fishing. That actually gives you a random candy. And there's also another one over there right next to the yellow Pianta who does usually do the drugstore. So depending on what distance you go to, sometimes you can either take you forward or slightly less forward. And there's also a lucky space over there right onto that, you know, that particular bridge. And there's another one of those happening spaces right over there, which I think I'll explain more down in a second. Then there's also the forms of the DK space, which basically what this does is the fact that DK will force you to give him 5 coins in a barrel, and then after when you've done so, it's your chance to able to shake the Wii remote, not able to actually guarantee to get yourselves even more coins if you do it well enough for this shaking motionness. And there's also another happening space over there, right at the very end of the board, similar to the forms of how it does in Begonia Peak from Mario Party 7, that if you dare land on it though, basically those Goomba pirates will force you to go to the cannon, and then basically what happens is though, you blast it all the way back to the beginning of the board. You know, kind of like the forms of how it does it on that particular dragon bit, from the likes of the forms of, you know, Begonia Peak. Oh, really? You just managed able to increase the price value as soon as I able to... I guess I'll probably explain about this for, as soon as when, oh, and by the way, I somehow accidentally managed to whack out the Wii remote, which basically, that actually activates the taunt feature, which I'll explain more details about that, until whenever we're able to get into the later turns, for the likes of this particular board itself. So as you can see, I'm going to be playing as Toadette on this board because, you know, obviously I don't mind playing as the female character once again, just like in Mario Party 6 and Mario Party 7, and especially noticeable with Mario Party 10 and Star Rush and basically everything else to be more besides. So yeah, you probably get the idea about the just of it. So yeah, the actual main emphasis on this board's gimmick is the fact that, as you can see, we actually have ourselves these little dolphin sections, and basically you have to pay coins in order to able to catch a ride with those dolphins, and basically that way you can get yourselves a quickest method by able to actually continue going forward for the entire linear board. So, oh wait a second, did Yoshi ever land on that lucky space? I bet he might have did, because, well, obviously, thanks to the forms of that stupid price change, then basically though, it just let anyone else manage to able to catch a ride on that dolphin for the earliest point of the game. So yeah, he probably landed on the lucky space from the get-go. So yeah, lucky for you. So anyways, what the lucky space will actually take you to, basically that particular other dolphin will actually decide able to take you to that particular island over there, right near to where the treasure chest is. So because of that though, yeah, that explains how the fact that we can able to expect for any other, you know, lucky routes in general. So, you know, you get the gist of it. So Anyway, today's day is of course the 9th of April today, in this case in 2022 today. Obviously you noticed about the fact that for those of you who lived in America, that yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the movie, just recently came out on the big screen yesterday on North America. So yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts of what's your opinion about the films of the entire film. Although mind you, I'm probably not gonna, you know, tell any spoilers of the film for those who have not seen the film yet. So yeah, at the very least, that we've now finally able to actually glad that we actually get to see, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie after all. So, like, I'm pretty sure that, well, I'll get to more in that in a second, because we got to deal with this Greg to Rank minigame again, and still so close to get a new record on this, but that's okay, because, well, as you probably already know, motion controls can be hit and miss sometimes. So, and also as you can see on screen, I've recently managed able to change the CPU's difficulty into hard mode because, well, I just felt incredibly bad from the likes of it in the last weekend because I somehow for some reason just managed able to put those CPUs on normal mode, which I was like, okay, that might be lack of a challenge after all. So I thought to myself, yeah, every once in a while though, I think I should probably change the CPU difficulties into hard mode. So I feel like I'm able to do just that. So anyways, let's go in and use the vampire candy to... I was literally too late because I was expecting I need to get 10 coins from anyone, but oh well, no big deal. And besides, no coins are to be found, so until, let's just say until the other Mario Party games, ranging from, you know, Super Mario Party and Mario Party Superstars, so yeah, that might be some consumption, so yeah, you get the idea about that. So, yeah, let me know in the comments below for the question of the day. Now, like I said, what would you think about the films of seeing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie after when it recently came out from the likes of not only for the UK from about a week ago, but also about the fact that recently in America. So, yeah, because I'd like to hear your thoughts of what the actual film itself looks like. And, you know, still I very, very enjoyed it, especially noticeable. I'm pretty sure that, I think I've already mentioned about that ever since in Kirby and the Forgotten Land Let's Play. So either way though, because obviously I had a massive blast for the film. So because of that though, yeah, and I can't wait until whenever I decide to get it on, not only for the DVD, for the sake of the films of taking it on the go, to able to show it to everyone, but also just trying to play it on, or trying to get it on the Blu-ray, so I can definitely able to watch the film in high definition in HD. So, yeah, that might be something worth about able to actually noticing this from the start. So anyways, yeah, as I said before, in addition to able to play myself as Toadette, I also bring in Mario, Yoshi, and Daisy. Even though it's almost like a Super Mario Sunshine vibe, well, the only exception being is Princess Peach, but that's mainly because I'm obviously going to be saving her specifically until the next board, which it might be seems pretty obvious of why, because, well, you probably already know what I mean, so... Anyway, so as you can see, that's what Mario just managed to land on that happening space right there. Basically, he managed to able to stumble across a random treasure that is inside the actual shipwreck. And then basically though is the fact that you can either get a lot of coins or some little amount of coins, depending on the actual randomness involved. So, yeah, that's the actual example right there for that particular happening space I was trying to explain, but either way though, I somehow got distracted by the forms of other topics I would like to mention. Oh, speaking of the forms of another topics I would like to mention about, is the fact that until tomorrow anyway, although I'm pretty sure it might already done that in Japan or anything, but apparently though, we're actually going to be getting ourselves the actual digital event for the likes of the Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary event for tomorrow. So I can't wait to see some of these new Kingdom Hearts related stuff they'll bring us into, but I'm sure we'll talk more details about that until whenever we get into, like, you know, the continuation of this board, or maybe until next weekend for the next board. Which, speaking of the next board after this though, I'm honestly not looking forward until the next board for this next weekend, because, well, I'm sure that most people already know what exactly what I'm about to say, because, well, as far as I'm aware, I had a lot of horror stories with that particular next board coming up, but anyway, so let's go ahead and deal with another 4-player minigame. So let's see, are we going to be playing this time around? And it turns out, Oh, we're playing Speedy Graffiti again. So close to get a new type of minigame we're going to be playing through. But hopefully we are getting there. We are definitely getting there. It's just the fact that, you know, every once in a while, we will come across into a lot of repeated minigames the whole way through. But to be expected. So yeah, I suppose I should probably mention about this as well, I guess, and that is the fact that, well, I'm pretty sure that recently I've somehow managed to finally complete it myself, the forms of Metroid 2, The Return of Samus on the Game Boy version, so that way I can able to actually practice the game before we dive right into the Let's Play of the game. We're not exactly sure when that particular Let's Play is going to be, you know, involved. Because obviously we're going to be busy going through not only the continuation of Kirby and the Forgotten Land, obviously, but also the continuation parts from the likes of recently that Sonic the Hedgehog. He's now tackling through the second WarioWare game he's going to be playing through, and that is of course WarioWare Twisted, because, well, originally we were expecting to be able to actually go for the GameCube port to WarioWare Inc., in this case WarioWare Inc. Mega Party games, but honestly though, I don't think we can probably tackle for that game, because it's pretty much exactly the same as the Game Boy Advance version, except, well, the obviously new addition to that though is the fact that they obviously bring in some multiplayer elements for the sake of the forms of likely compete against with your friends and stuff like that. So, and I think that's about it basically, so I don't know if I can able to actually just you know, trying to go for that particular version and stuff like that, so, but, either way, though, that's just for my, personal taste anyway. I mean, surely I still enjoy the GameCube version, though, still, but it's just the fact that it plays out exactly like the Game Boy Advance version, but except, well, you're playing the WarioWare Inc. Minigame Mania on a console game, so, yeah, that probably explains it, so. Anyway, so it looks like Mario gets an 8. So in this case, the actual number of the title. So, seriously, I always keep bringing this up. So, it's kind of a shame that in the likes of in Mario Party 10, there's no 10 number on one of those dice blocks. Because, well, all it gets is just basically it's like a double dice set. And that's pretty much about it. Although, unlike Mario Party 9, they obviously did manage to include the 1 through 10 dice block. Which, in that particular item in that game, does have a 9 on it, which actually represents the number of the title, but either way though, I honestly have no words to think about it, so. Alright, another full player minigame? Seriously, we're going to be playing these minigames a lot. And speaking of which, we got ourselves a new minigame, which we have Swing Kings. So, this appears to be like a baseball type of minigame. Hit baseballs into the outfield, you'll get 20 pitches. Don't put too much swing into it, or you won't be ready for the next pitch. So basically, we have to waggle the Wii remote just like the actual baseball bat. So, you know, if you ever played Wii Sports before, then you probably already know what to expect. In fact, this minigame does remind me of Dingo Derby for a little bit, from the likes of the forms of in Mario Party 5, except, well, basically the biggest difference is that we have to use motion controls instead of the actual regular buttons, so, yeah, you probably get the gist of it, and I somehow, I don't know about you, but I think I managed to screw this up by able to actually get ourselves the maximum score, by able to actually just to go through 20 points maximum, which is not easy to do, because sometimes though, the actual random pattern with that, you know, Shy Guys keeps on tossing the baseballs, and then basically though, is your chance to able to time it well enough. But, usually, relatively speaking, I can never, for the life of me, never actually get the maximum of 20 points, though. But, I will still try to keep practicing that, though, until specifically if we come across into that minigame again, if it's likely possible, but we'll just see. We'll see what happens there. I would like to be able to use the thrice candy, but, oh, will that be... Nah, I was literally, like, 2 spaces away from that particular lucky space I was really hoping to land on, but usually Yoshi just land on that space on the very first turn of this board, so. Anyway, I think, fundamentally speaking, like I said before, that this board almost kind of reminds me of the similar board as the forms of in Begonia Peak from Mario Party 7. Like, usually, like I said, this board is entirely linear, except the fact that unlike in the majority of the boards in Mario Party 9 and Mario Party 10, that the game usually ends until you make it to the very end. Well, in this game in particular though, in addition to Begonia Peak from Mario Party 7, that thankfully those boards are actually like turn-based. So because of that though, yeah, because obviously the game will end until all the turns has been up. So at the very least that we actually going to be spend some time just trying to able to, well, make our way towards the end of that Captain Goomba over there. Because if you manage to make your way towards the very end of the board, like I think Mario just almost got straight towards him. So in this case though, until the next turn, that he will meet up with him. So anyway, so let's see what Yoshi's gonna do. He's not gonna use his candy yet, but he will do eventually. So and in a sense that he was still in the lead at the moment, thanks to the forms of that particular lucky space he lands on, so... But hopefully we'll try to catch up to him at some point, until, God knows, until whenever we decide to able to, you know, win quite a few minigames, which so far we're doing quite well at this point, so... Alright, shake it up again. So, since we already played this minigame, I should say. I do apologize if my commentary gets a little bit iffy at points, but like I said before, that hopefully, whenever I decide able to watch the Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary event, then I can probably discuss more details about this, until, you know, either the continuation of this board, or, the next board next week, so... Oh, I still managed to win somehow. But, I digress. Yeah, because relatively speaking, it's just the fact the matter is, though, is that I'm just so looking forward to see what's going to be up next for Kingdom Hearts stuff every now and then, because, you know, ever since that the Darker Seeker saga has already concluded, thanks to the forms of Kingdom Hearts 3, so because of that, though, I can't wait to see what's up next for the second phase of the Kingdom Hearts series, so... Anyways, I don't think I can possibly able to actually make it to the lucky space from now on, so I think I should probably just go ahead and use the thrice candy from now on, so let's hope if I get ourselves a good numbers here. 4 is meh, 2 is quite bad, and 4 is meh, so in this case we'll get a 10, so oh well, I suppose we should probably spend 15 coins so that way we can able to, you know, go a bit further, so that way we can able to go ahead and just keep on traveling through that particular thing itself. Oh yeah, something's worth mentioning though is the fact that thankfully though, the actual board length for the likes of the forms of Goomba's Booty Boardwalk, than the likes of how it does in Begonia Peak, is the fact that you guys even remember watching our Let's Play of Mario Party 7, that, jeez Louise, in Begonia Peak, that we've almost spent about almost 2 hours on that board, thanks to the forms of that particular, you know, too much events of, you know, dual spaces, as well as the forms of, Bowser and DK minigames, and also so applies the forms of how it does it on, long drawn-out scenes and stuff like that. Whilst thankfully in this board in particular though, although don't get me wrong, I still enjoy Begonia Peak, but it's just the fact that it feels a bit too lengthy for my taste. But regardless of such though, for Goomba's Booty Boardwalk, basically though, is the fact that this board might actually go by very quickly, even though, despite the fact that it might still have some long drawn-out events every once in a while, thanks to the forms of that particular Dolphin Ride segment, which it almost kind of reminds me of the forms of how it does it in, let's just say the Sharks bit from the likes of in Mario Party 2, in Pirate Land, and, excuse me, I'm sorry about that, and also so it applies to the forms of, let's just say Koopa Seaside Soiree in Mario Party 4. Although, usually, unlike in Mario Party 4 though, that if you land on the certain happening spaces on those specific boardwalk with that particular picture of the fruit, that you have to force to able to ride on the dolphin in order to go to the other side, whilst you don't able to actually have an option to select yes or no. Whilst in here though, you can able to actually select yes or no if you decide able to catch a ride or not. But here's the thing though, is the fact that as you probably already noticed, that both Daisy and Mario have both managed to make our way towards the very end of the entire board, mainly likely meet up with the Captain Goomba for the first time, and basically the actual star price is for free. So thankfully you don't need to worry about just trying to utilize the coins in order able to buy the star, because even then though, in order to get the star though, you have to meet up with him for the first time, and then vice versa, and then the star price is for free. So thankfully there's no extra cost or anything else like that. So alright, lava or leave him. Survive 30 seconds among the lava bubbles as more break off from the main fireball. If you fall off the platform, you'll be eliminated. That lava is hot stuff. So yeah, we have another new minigame right here. I kind of wish that this minigame will make its return from the likes of Mario Party Superstars, but apparently though, we didn't get any DLC so far yet. Well, I can possibly understand of why Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still getting DLC, because after all, that game is doing so well for its sales records and everything else, to be more specific. So, very understandable, especially noticeable that recently I've finally managed to get 3-star rankings on those 2 DLC cups in particular, from 150cc and 150cc mirror and 200cc. In fact, getting the 3-star ranking on, let's just say, Lucky Cat or the Lucky Bell Cup, for the likes of the 3-star rankings, is actually kind of hellish for me. Especially noticeable because I seriously keep on falling off on the likes of Ninja Hideaway based off of Mario Kart Tour, and because of that though, because you obviously going way too fast on that particular the track itself. I think the hardest part about this is at the very end though. Although luckily those computer players, whenever I managed to play that board on my own time, or no, the actual track I should say, or the actual cup I should say. Thankfully though, that it actually did take me a couple of tries, but yeah, it might be still kind of feels a bit difficult though on 200cc though, because you're going way too fast, but anywho, so now we got ourselves our glorious star by simply meet up with the Captain Goomba. And it's a good thing that we didn't get ourselves a specific number that in order able to avoid that, that happening space all the way to the end of the board, because if I somehow do, then I'll be seriously screwed. So, yeah, basically, just like in Begonia Peak, you'll be obviously go all the way back to the beginning of the board if you get the star. Then thankfully though, as you can see on screen, that we now actually have ourselves the skip button. So this means that if you see that scene so many times, well, it only exists on the forms of how it does it on the human players, although the computer players obviously already skip those specific events already. So in this case though, it's the fact that you do have an option to either see the cinematic cutscene, or just simply skip it if you've seen that scene so many times. So, because thankfully though, that particular board is nowhere near as long as Begonia Peak, so yeah, that might be something that's usually worth mentioning about stunts and things like this. So, but I digress. So, because relatively speaking as well, I guess, is the fact that because of the fact that I was expecting to try to mention something else for that matter, but honestly guys, that's as far as I can honestly try to talk about for the sake of the forms of not only for today's discussion, but also about the fact the matter is though, that's as far as I can try to explain about the forms of, oh, I suppose I should probably mention about this as well, I guess, is the fact that, if you're trying to play this board on the likes of, not only the dual battle mode, but also Star Battle Arena, that, I'm pretty sure the rules on this board is a bit different than the likes of how it does it on, the regular party mode, and that is the fact that the main objective on that board in the dual battle mode, and that is the fact that you need to be able to get, I would say, 50 coins in order to get the star, and then you win the board. Kind of like this similar thing from the likes of how it does it in Mario Party 7 in Begonia Peak on solo cruise mode, but except the fact that rather than collecting 100 coins in order to claim your victory, so in that essence, is the fact that obviously they managed to half of it now. So that means you have to collect 50 coins instead of 100. So I guess that makes it a pretty obvious point, because especially noticeable about the fact that usually that 100 coins is a bit pricey from the in the likes of Begonia Peak in Mario Party 7. But usually, relatively speaking, that's as far as I can usually try to explain about this. So Although, I'm pretty sure if you don't get enough coins, if you meet up with Captain Goomba, that if you, well, there is actually a coin block thing that does make a return from the likes of in Mario Party 7, but I'll explain more details about that in a second, because we have another new minigame in the nick of time. Turn the clock's hands to match the image. Whoever gets 3 matches first wins. Slow down your rotation when you get close to the correct time so you don't pass it up. So basically you have to turn the Wiimote left or right to able to steer the actual clock's hands until you're able to get that specific clock hand in the correct time or something like that. So seriously, this place is filled to the brim with a lot of those clocks. I mean, places like Geppetto's house or something like that. I mean, it would be kind of interesting because obviously in the big Pinocchio film, that basically Geppetto actually has a lot of, you know, different style of clocks, which, either way though. Oh, speaking of that though, is the fact that we actually got ourselves our, I would say a first look of that image from the likes of the live-action remake of Pinocchio. And, well, the color scheme on Pinocchio himself is a bit identical to the likes of the actual Disney animated counterparts, but I'm not exactly sure if I was going to be hyped for this, because, well, the only thing I was a bit worried about, that is the fact that if they manage to screw that film up completely, it will ruin my nostalgia for me, because usually the thing I loved about the original film so much, specifically the original Disney animated classic version, that is part of my nostalgia, especially noticeable about the fact that, wow, it still feels a bit dark on the original version, but I don't know about the films of the remake though, because, well, we'll just see what happens until that film usually comes out on the likes of Disney Plus exclusive. So anyway, so let's go ahead and use our no matter what though, I should probably use my Springo candy for now, because, well, I think I'm miles able to catch up to the star values before I'm able to actually get back to first place or something like that. So alright, so let's see if I can hopefully try to aim for yeah, I think Mario will be alright, because obviously that I think he somehow managed able to get closest to Captain Goomba. Yeah, I thought so already, because either way though, that obviously he has a lot of advantage by, oh wow, I got myself another star by getting a 9. Although if I get 7 though, I'll be screwed over again, so that won't ever happen until when some opponents else could be either land on it or just skipping it entirely. So although I do definitely know for the fact that, well, back in Mario Party 7, that I believe Mario did manage to screw up on the last turn or something like that. Although, mind you, I haven't exactly played Mario Party 7 for a while, or maybe that Ray the Flying Squirrel hasn't exactly played Mario Party 7 for quite some weeks now, ever since in the middle portion of March, ever since about a month ago. But anyway, so it looks like Daisy's gonna use her Bullo candy to able to run over to Yoshi to obviously steal his coins, because it's pretty obvious that he was in second place so far. Oh, and by the way, something's worth mentioning, in order to activate the taunt feature in this game, you have to waggle the Wiimote, which also, by the way, much like in Mario Party 6 and Mario Party 7, the taunt feature needs to be unlocked, by the way, and to unlock that, you need to buy that in a Fun Bazaar mode, which is basically like the equivalent to the Star Bank and Duty Free Shop between both Mario Party 6 and 7. So yeah, that's something worth mentioning for the sake of that. Oh, jeez, I really do apologize for my, of what's going on in my commentary for a moment, because for some stupid reason, I just keep belching most of the time, which I know is incredibly gross, but still. But hopefully, though, until tomorrow, whenever we get to the halfway point of this entire board, then basically I can able to just throw myself a little bit more, well, manners, I guess. But anyway, so it looks like Yoshi's gonna give Daisy a massive payback by stealing 10 coins back, and please don't tell me he's gonna land on that lucky space again, because if he does, then he will seriously gonna able to kick our butts. Well, mind you, there might be still some bonus stars though, so yeah, at least we're still able to expect that will be happening, but we'll just see what happens there. Okay, so is he ever gonna land on it? Nope, he bypasses it completely, so... Oh, that was a bit of a close call right there, because, well, if he does land on that, then he will definitely be able to, like, become a glorious player when it comes to likely land on the lucky spaces, which I cannot for the life of me never seemed able to land on any of these lucky spaces so far anyway, for the sake of the forms of this Let's Play so far. Well, mind you, that's only mainly because, then again, that the dice blocks can be a bit random at times, but, you know what I'm saying, so... Alright, sick and twisted again, so, yeah, hopefully let's just not fall off this time, unlike last time that I somehow screwed up, but he forms that specific, camera locked system, so, hopefully we'll just keep trying, so, maybe I keep thinking about the forms of Mario Party 1, from the likes of the forms of Platform Peril, including Mario Party 2 as well. So, yeah, I think that's the only reason why I keep thinking about that. Although, can I think about it, I think Daisy somehow managed to fall off already. So, yeah, that makes it, oh, jeez, looks like Mario just got out already. I just still kind of wish that this minigame will make its return in Superstars, but sadly it doesn't, so... Oh well, we'll just have to wait and see what happens during at some point. Maybe in this year's E3, or something like that. Well, then again, it's just Nintendo after all. They always keeping secrets, or maybe especially noticeable they worked on something else. But, at the very least, like I said, we are still getting some more DLC from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Because, obviously, that we already had, 2 of them already, since about almost a month ago. So, because of that, though, we'll expect to be waiting for the next... 2 cups in particular, until maybe specifically whenever we get to summer is up next. So that'll be my only prime predictable moments right there. So alright, so let's go and use my Swamp Candy to able to screw up Mario, despite the fact that he has lesser amount of coins. Oh, 10. That's the way I like it. Although, mind you, I don't think I can probably land on the happening space, I don't think, so... Nah, or should I say, the lucky space. I keep thinking about the forms of, you know, the green star, but, well, we'll just see what happens by the end of this board, and I somehow land on the red space, so, whoops. But that's okay though, because, you know, red star will come into play, if it does manage to come into play, if depending on randomness, where it comes to, you know, bonus stars alike, but, we'll just have to wait and see, so... So, yeah, that may actually explain about the fact that I can usually try to explain about the forms of today's discussion. It's just that, again, there's not much else I can say besides the forms of that amazing event coming up tomorrow. And also not to mention though, I'm pretty sure Ray the Flying Squirrel has already mentioned about this. That also that I think it's during at some point at the end of this month in particular or something like that. That basically we're able to get ourselves the Kirby 30th anniversary concert coming up, which is pretty exciting, all things considered. So because, obviously, I am now a huge fan of Kirby stuff after all, because after all, Kirby's one of my favorite franchises of all time now, along with, you know, Metroid, Zelda, Mario, Sonic, and you name the rest. If you're following through our channel anyway, so... Oh, speaking of Mario, he's gonna be able to get chuckstered by the, well, one of those Piantas. So, yep, he's about to get tossed. I'm gonna say, I really love the music in this board as well. It's almost like you're able to experience the entire, paradise with the actual tropical setting. So, at the very least, there is something that's usually, cool about this board, so... Although some people seem to say about the fact that the 4th board, including the 5th board, coming up, those 2 boards are considerably the best when it comes to certain fans alike, because, well, I can possibly understand why, but, we're not gonna come across into those. Maybe at some point by the end of this month, or, next month in particular, to be more specific. So, again, I do apologize for my tongue twisting usually comes into play, but, I do apologize for that. Alright, new minigame, King of the Thrill. This minigame is quite awesome, actually. Pummel your foe off the crumbling platform. If rival fighters win the first round, they'll face off at the top. And then on the hint side of things, time your punches and kicks to blast your foe backwards onto a crumbling part of the platform. So basically we have to, like, you know, hold the Wiimote sideways and then use the directional pad to move around, and then obviously do punches or kicks depending on, you know, certain situations are involved. So yeah, let's just go ahead and take down these opponents down. I think we're about to take on Yoshi, so... Oh, jeez, I forgot about the actual, Whoa! Ah, dang it, I was out! Come on, Daisy. Come on, Daisy. No! Ah, I think we all lost, because... Obviously, if the two players on the same team manage to get on top of each other, basically, they'll just win automatically, so... Oh, jeez, Daisy, what did you do? What have you done to, my minigame's victoryness, I suppose? But, oh well, we'll just have to take a loss anyway, so... Oh well. Alright, so I don't think there's anything else I can probably do, so let's just get any number, such as 6. Yeah, I might fancy an item to buy on the shop, so... Are there any interesting items there? Well, of course, there might be one of those items I can possibly get, such as twice candy, which I'm definitely going to be getting. Just in case I'm really desperate able to actually decide able to catch up with, not only for getting to the star, but also maybe we'll come across into the running star if that's usually comes into play, so... Alright, so Daisy gets a 1, so pitiful 1 that she obviously got. And Mario's going to use the Springo candy. I think my guess is he's obviously going to be aiming for Daisy because, well, it might actually depends on it though, depending on the actual timing of the skills of the dart. So, and sure enough, oh, he was literally so close to able to aim for Daisy, so I'm guessing he just managed to able to aim it a bit too late. But he still managed to able to get some progression there, so I guess that makes obvious sense. And he gets a 9, and he once again landed on that particular happening space that he obviously landed on before. And I'm pretty sure he'll get a different amount of coins, I'm guessing, so... And this time he gets... Oh, just only 5 coins, so... Yeah, like I said, it's entirely random, depending on how much coins you'd be getting, so... Yeah, that probably explains it. Oh, I should probably mention about something, actually, before we move on. It's the fact that on the Bowser space, on this board, basically Bowser decides to come in, and then basically he's able to actually summon those Plutterboos, which, by the way, you do need to jump over, by the way, because if you dare touch those Plutterboos, you lose some of your coins, so... Yeah, that's something to keep in mind. But to jump, on the other hand, you have to thrust the Wiimote upwards in order to jump, which kind of reminds me of one of those micro games for the likes of WarioWare Smooth Moves, which, kind of thing about it though, I was considerably able to consider trying doing a redo Let's Play of that game. At some point, maybe at some point next year, because obviously we need to take care of the forms of, you know, WarioWare Twisted, and also eventually WarioWare Touched, until maybe by the end of this year, and then hopefully we'll get enough around onto it until we decide to do other WarioWare games in the future. Alright, Saucer Swarm again, so yeah, I was expecting if we're going to be playing another battle minigame around here, but apparently we're going back to this one again, so... But that's okay though, because this minigame is quite easy to do, especially noticeable just trying to able to keep on destroying those tiny UFOs and all that stuff though, which it'll be pretty intense to do it, so and I doubt I'm probably not going to get a new record on there though, because, well, I just somehow miss some of those shots easily, but that's perfectly fine by me, because obviously I'm still on the top of the actual leaderboards. Well, not necessarily when it comes to online things itself, but usually for the entire minigame itself, for some predictable reasons, I guess. And that should pretty much lead me to 74 coins, so how's that for that one? So I think I'm now on to first place at the moment so far. Well, usually depending on the forms of how the fact if the computer players manage to able to usually make their way to Goomba after all, so... let's have a look at the map. I might be considering trying to able to aim for maybe 11, but it all depending on the forms of the twice candy. In fact, we'll use this anyway, so if we somehow get about, you know, 11, then obviously I'll be pretty damned and lucky throughout, but if not, then we'll just have to able to take another way, so... Oh, so close, but I think I should probably have my chances to spend 30 coins in order to able to progress. Well, let's just hope I'm probably not gonna land on that. You know, that very stingy happening space at the very end of the board, but good thing that we actually gained some good dice rolls, better than the forms of how it does it previously, because, well, like I said, it's all depending on the forms of luck after all, so that probably explains it, so... I should probably also mention about this as well, I guess, is the fact that I can't even believe, I was literally one off to able to meet up with that Captain Goomba. But oh well, no big deal, but at the very least until the next turn, then I can able to get the star easily, so... Although luckily, for me anyway, I don't think anyone else is gonna get the blow-away candy at this point. If they do, I will be really screwed if I somehow get blown back, all the way back to the start of the board, so that won't be that pleasant if we somehow come across into that, but luckily we didn't get a chance for able to see that, so... Alright, so Daisy's now on to 2 stars, very much like everyone else out there, including myself, so yeah, that pretty much explains about that specific fact. And Mario gets a 7, and he lands on the red. So, yeah, I guess that's not much else I can honestly try to explain for this point today, because, like I said, I've already explained quite a lot of bits and bobs today, but, then again, if we manage able to continue that discussion with that Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary event coming up, then we'll talk more details about that, if they actually revealed something, so... Anyway, so let's go ahead and move on to Thrash and Crash again. So, I think we've already played this before, so... Yeah, we pretty much already played this before, so... apparently though, speaking of Kirby though, and that is the fact that, apparently though, that, there might be a rumor, although it might not be true, but we'll just see what happens there. But apparently they're also able to actually release another Kirby-related thing for the sake of the forms of this year in particular, which appears to be another compilation game. You know, kind of like the forms of how it does it in Super Mario 3D All-Stars back in 2 years ago. But I get a strong sense of feeling about the fact that this year might be exactly similar to the forms of how it does it in Super Mario 3D All-Stars rumor, but I just really wish that would be the true case, but we'll just have to wait and see until the next couple of days later, because obviously that we're still technically in the beginning portion of April, but either way though, we're not exactly at the halfway point of this entire month so far, but we'll just see. But anyway, we somehow managed to win on this minigame though, and I'm very surprised that we still managed to see that good old, you know, classic, you know, victory animation pose from the likes of in Mario Party 6 or Mario Party 7 that usually it only exists from the likes of Thrash and Crash minigames, so no idea why they did not include that particular familiar animation from any other minigames for that matter, but oh well, no big deal. So anyways, now I got myself my 3rd star in this board, so not doing too bad, not too shabby either, so anyway, so we'll go all the way back to the beginning of the board again, and yeah, I was really hoping I can able to get 7 on the next turn. If not, then I was just like, you know what, whatever. Alright, so Daisy's not gonna use her candy for some reason, and she's probably gonna land on the red space for some capacity. So, hopefully though, I will try to able to actually just catch up on the forms of, you know, some other recording sessions I must do for the meantime for Mario Party 8 from now on, because, well, I know for the fact that, well, like I said, that, well, the actual uploading schedules for this year so far, I will say for this point, is actually getting slightly slower, But hopefully we are definitely going to catch up for the actual, the scheduled timing and stuff like that. But I have no idea why I just managed to bring this up because, well, honestly, there's not much else I can say, like I said. So, alright, is it going to be, yep, 2 versus 2 minigame again? So, yeah, we might as well be able to come across into another new minigame we can probably play next. In this case, we are playing Crops and Robbers. It's almost like the equivalent to Bumper Crumper for Mario Party 7, except we're now going to be doing with 2 different things we can do. So, clear your team's garden first. One of you pulls carrots, the other whacks Monties. Coordinate your efforts. You may need to target a specific carrot or Monty to allow your teammate to move ahead. So one player can able to actually just do, you know, a combination of a button by simply able to grab the carrot and then move with the directional pad and then pull it out with the Wii remote, just trying to thrust it up. Or you can able to actually just to let the other player can do the hammer and then just trying to whack the Monty Moles in the process. So I get a horrible feeling. I think I might as well do the hardest job out of them all though, because, well, I just get a strong sense of feeling my teammate might be pretty useless on this sometimes, even for just doing the carrot section, so... But I'll try my best though, so even then, best of luck for me, so... Alright, so it looks like we're doing too good for the Monty Moles part, even though despite the fact that it's goes off for a split second with that Monty Mole over there, but, oh, really? Okay, come on. Come out. Thank you. So now we just need to worry about the carrots part. So, come on, Yoshi, be fast. Be fast, Yoshi! Quick! Before they somehow win. Come on! Ah, we're too late, because I'm pretty sure Mario just managed to pull out the last carrot before Yoshi did. Hi, darn you, my AI opponent. But that's okay though, because I'm still in the lead, and thus I get a strong sense of feeling I'm still on the minigame star, well, record for the bonus stars.